Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. And on today's episode, we're doing a review and reaction to Loki Episode 1, Glorious Purpose. Come on inside.
What's up, everybody? We are the Jersey Comic Crew. Chris just said we were talking Loki, the first episode called Glorious Purpose. Guys, we have been so excited for the series to kick off. And Chris, like the first episode starts everything off, introduce us to all the different things with the Time Variance Authority. They come in, they capture Loki. Then we get to see the whole bureaucracy behind the world, and like they're in this great and magical world where like they're the ultimate beings of reality. They make sure the ultimate timeline's in place, the sacred one. And then all the workers there are just bored bureaucrats. They couldn't care less about it. They're like, give me your ticket, just read this consent form, move on through. I thought it was really fun to mock like how, sometimes the bureaucracy kind of takes the joy out of like the magical things in the universe, which was fun.
Yeah.
And then seeing
Yeah.
Loki just get destroyed by these questions and realizing that like he's doing wrong and he has to make change was great, because this is primetime evil Loki 2012 and he hasn't gone through all the stuff that we have, and it kind of shows that Loki might actually be a good person at heart, but he's doing all this out of his own twisted more ideas.
Yeah, it's one of the best episode start-offs I think we've seen out of the 3 series of Marvel. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's on purpose how WandaVision's one way, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki, but to me it's gradually getting better with every show, which I think is a really smart plan if that was the case. I like this episode probably more than anything I've seen so far.
You mean out of the other 2 shows?
Out of the other 2 shows. I thought this was a fantastic episode, a fantastic start to a series. I thought Hiddleston dropped himself right back into Loki 2012 perfectly. Yep. I thought the best part for me was the conversation with him and Owen Wilson. I never knew how much of like them two together, oddly, I wanted until watching it.
They play very well off each other.
Fantastic, where like you said, right? Owen Wilson's kind of this bureaucrat who's been a man of the job forever. So like he doesn't take anything as serious as like we would, being like, oh my God, what they're going through time. This is happening. Look where they are. Look at the time periods. And he's just kind of like, oh yeah, if you want to destroy the nightmare section, I'll do it with you. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's trying to get like to the inner workings of Loki.
Yeah. And also like a kind of an easier way, right? He's not like an interrogation where it's like he's a cop or Batman in Dark Knight where he's kicking chairs. He's just kind of like, dude, level with me. I've been through this a billion times, To
address one of the things you said before, like this is like one of your favorite things out of the things that we've seen so far. And I think it's because of the topic that Loki tackles, right? You look at Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's more grounded, more in the real world. You look at WandaVision, that's more the magical and the weird. And Loki is attacking these concepts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're on the big, grandiose scale, the world-ending stuff. And us as fans, like when we hear the Infinity Stones and like all this kind of stuff in Marvel, we're always like, how is this going to change the universe? What exactly is happening? Like it's the big fireworks, if you will. Not necessarily we're going to get the action, but like the concepts at least, which are really cool.
The fact that the conversation kind of was relevant to a lot of theories we had early on, right? Where it's like, hey, this undertone is probably going to be about what you do with your time. And kind of, especially with Loki, right? Like, who are you on the inside and how you're perceived, and kind of why you do what you do. And I thought a lot of that was brought to light in a really kind of, even though Mobius is very calm and very collected and kind of like, yeah, I've done this before, he still says things like, nope, boom, here's your jab, right? Like he's saying it direct, sharp, truthfully, of like, so you like to kill people, or is it like God of Mischief? What does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like it's like, what's your goal here? Oh, ruler of the world, ruler of space. Space is big, there's a lot of room in space. That sounds, what about after that? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, where's your plan B? Like, what happens if you get, like, it's like a dog chasing cars, right? What are you going to do when you catch it?
Exactly. That was cool to see.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I think you probably picked up on those intricacies too, of just like how we perceive Loki kind of was almost changed immediately.
Oh yeah,
through the conversation and what happened, getting into like him seeing his future, which we've already seen.
Yeah, he was realizing his actual purpose. Like he saw the moments with his mother dying, And then all the moments of him bonding with his brother, and he's like, wow. Like, we can see the self-realization that Loki's like, that's what I wanted. I didn't know that's what I wanted. I couldn't figure it out. But now that I see it, he's like, yes, that's what I was working for. To be loved by my brother, my mother, be honored by my father, to feel valuable and move forward. It was so good to see, like, him, that light bulb clicking, like, this is what I want to do. And that's why towards the end, like, when he was running away, he stopped and he didn't. And I do like in this episode, we know immediately who the villain is, right? Everybody was thinking not Mobius. Everybody was thinking Mephisto, back with the WandaVision stuff. And then we see the devil in this, but the creator of the show says, hey, it's Loki. In the episode, hey, it's Loki. It's a variant of Loki. The mirror on the wall we see is just Loki, how it's depicted with the devil. He's a horned. So this is going to be an evil version of a Loki variant. Which is
evil
more
dash
evil.
ER.
Like, I think like Loki without like wanting his family's love and just goes straight on the killing Binger. But we do know, Chris, right, from the comics that there's many different versions of Loki.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's, obviously Lady Loki's the big one because we know she's probably going to show up in the show. If not, that's the hooded figure we saw at the end. There's kid versions of Loki. Loki is a god. Like he's saying the whole time, I'm a god, I'm a god, I'm a god. He's not lying. He is a god. He's a deity. And when he kind of dies, he could be kind of reincarnated into almost anything, which is why a lot of people were pointing out, like on his identity card, his gender was fluid. Because he can be a woman, he could be a man, he could be kind of anything and go into any one of those bodies. Like he's reincarnated a bunch of times we've seen in the comics. So that is going to be interesting to see if it's not just our Tom Hiddleston Loki and Lady Loki, if we get to see like a bunch of different Lokis throughout the show, which would be pretty cool.
I think we not seeing other versions of Loki would be a disservice to the show. You have such a prime opportunity to do that. And it kind of like keeps that character alive because he could be anywhere. Because even if they have to like recast Tom Hiddleston down the road and he's in a different body, this kind of like sets the seed that might be a possibility. You know what I mean? One thing I do want to address, right? And I know we're gonna get to questions. Why do the Power Stone, the Infinity Gems, not work in that realm? Right?
Yeah.
It's because the Time Variance Authority exists in null space, and the power required for the Infinity Stones to work, they have to be within that universe to draw that power to make that thing a reality. And we see Loki realizing something to this effect, saying, oh, wow, like the TVA, Time Variance Authority, has a power that's even stronger than this. And like at first, when his intentions weren't as pure as like trying to be the better version of himself, he was like, oh, I got to stay here and try to figure it out. And now it's more of a great appreciation. Now it kind of seems like this Loki wants to better himself. And lastly, I got to address him being DB Cooper on a bet.
Oh, it's the best.
I thought that was going to be him like doing a mission or something like that.
Yep.
I thought that was really fun. I thought that was cool. You hit that point and then you move forward and we don't have to like expect it down the line. I thought it was awesome.
That was one of the best kind of like joke throwaways.
Yeah.
I thought that possibly could have happened. I loved every second of that, and they explained it immediately where he's like, I was young, I lost a bet to Thor.
Yeah, that was it, and it was great.
He's like, I was young, and of course he lost a bet to Thor. And guys, make sure you check out that Easter egg video because I'm going to break that down way further. But yeah, so that was great. I also loved what you just said, Rob, about the TVA and null space, because all of those things, right? Like the Infinity Gems and all the things that we kind of saw. I love that the actual place itself where Loki kind of takes a step back and looks outside, and it's kind of like a mix of Coruscant with like the magic of like the Ministry of Magic in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where like the elevator doors are like appearing everywhere and people are like magically popping in and out. And that was really cool to kind of see that it looks familiar but different than anything you've seen.
My only comment on that was that it looks a little cluttered, but it makes sense because of their bureaucracy and everything that's going through. One last thing before we go. The variant of Loki, right?
Yes.
Do you think this person's working for somebody? I have seen theories, and myself, I am inclined to believe that this variant of Loki may or may not be working for Kang the Conqueror, or it might be a version of Kang the Conqueror, because we saw that weapon at the end. Yeah, this is an Easter egg you get for free without watching the Easter egg video, guys. But that weapon is one of Kang's, right? I saw it immediately. I was like, wait a minute.
It's of Kang's time.
I mean, yeah, it's of Kang's time, but like...
Yeah.
there's too many Easter eggs and too many little breadcrumbs of Kang being somewhat involved in this. And we know Kang has had multiple personas throughout all of time and history. What if instead of one of them being, the son of Reed Richards, one of them is Loki?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They can make that change and still work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that'll make us more invested in Kang the Conqueror.
So I love the Kang theory. I think that's the one that a lot of people are going to grab onto. I have 3 based on just that final scene.
All right.
Number 1, it's just the most evil version of Loki, Lady Loki, that we've ever seen.
Okay.
Right? It's just Loki, and that relates to 2 things. Number 1, the scene where we meet Mobius in France at the church with the little kid, and the kid, he asked the kid, "Who is it?" And she points to the devil picture.
Okay.
And obviously everyone immediately thinks Mephisto. It's a red devil in something we saw in the trailer. And the other aspect of that is, well, Loki has a horned helmet, right? Like it could be a different Loki with a different look.
Okay.
It could just be, that's the big one, right? It could be Loki as the most evil version.
Sure.
Loki that took it to the next level of what they are doing. Number 2, Mephisto. Could be working for Mephisto because that was the hint. Even though the showrunners,
okay.
I got to throw the Mephisto in there just because it's one that's kind of obvious. I know the showrunners beforehand have said that there is no Mephisto in this show. I don't know if that's a confirmation.
But we don't trust them. Yeah.
I don't trust anyone when it comes to theories. Are you kidding me? So, and obviously number 3 is Kang. That weapon is from the, 3rd millennium, as they said. Oh, they did a boo-doo-doo-doo. And it's like 3rd millennium. That immediately was like, hey, Kang the Conqueror is from the 3rd millennium.
I can see that.
And that also throws out my Doctor Doom theory, but that's okay.
That's okay.
But Kang would be an epic kind of, whether, like you said, it's a version of Kang, or that Loki is working for Kang. Or that Loki, because we've seen this weird time jump, right? Like, why did that 15th, 14th century little French kid have like packets of bubble gum?
Yeah,
right?
I guess because
so clearly this Loki is jumping time period to time period, possibly took the weapon from Kang. Kang's gonna find out and get pissed, and that becomes a thread. But
maybe
we
this
don't
Loki
know that yet.
Is not necessarily killing everybody. Maybe it's Kang, and he's getting framed for it, and he's still helping people. This could be a whole great chase. Yeah. I'm really excited. But
what if it's a reverse theory where Loki is the hero going after Kang?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And Thor is the villain.
No, you can't do that. You can't play with Thor.
You wouldn't want to see a bad Chris Hemsworth?
I would love that, but we're getting so much Thor so soon.
True.
So they're like, you know what? You take a break. We're not going to include you, because then it's an over-reliance on Thor in the MCU. And if they want to start phasing him out and or at least bring highlight to other characters, that might be too much of a disservice.
We can highlight other characters and still highlight Thor. There's no reason to phase out Thor.
I mean, no,
he's one of the last OGs. I would more, as much Thor as him and Taika Waititi want to do, throw it out there when he's not busy having 3-ways at his house.
Oh, what?
You didn't see? Oh, wait. This is bigger news. You didn't see that?
No, what happened?
There was a picture that leaked online of Taika Waititi who's dating, I think it's like Rita Ora.
Okay.
And Tessa Thompson's like on the other side of him.
Oh.
And it was like pulled down. And I was like, who knew Taika Waititi was getting it like this, dude?
I don't think it meant that.
Talking about the God of Thunder.
Maybe they're at a swimming party or something.
Yeah, at his private house. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, guys, we want to hear your thoughts on Loki Episode 1, Glorious Purpose. What did you think of it? Who do you think this evil variant Loki is working for, if anybody? Let us know down in the comments below.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you're brand new, subscribe and turn on notifications. We got an Easter egg video coming up. We've got Loki coming every single week for you guys. And as always, I'm Chris Heller. That's Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we'll see you next time.